Black Cat again. Hope you guys are so far enjoying your holiday season. Anyway, I thought I'd share with you with my next update video. This time, I'm doing the Dark Magician. I've actually made a lot of good improvements on my Eye of Timaeus build, and I'm going to show you some interesting cards that I thought worked really well with this. So, let's get right on to it. Alright, like my Blue Eyes, or in pretty much any deck, there are certain cards you need to run playsets of. And of course, what's so important with Dark Magician is 3 Dark Magicians. Another powerful vanilla monster of its time, and it still is to this day. 2500 attack is no joke. Next up, we got our 1, 2, and finally, our 3rd Apprentice Illusion. Just got the 3rd one recently, thanks to a really good trade that a friend of mine made with me. Basically, you can just discard 1 card and you can special summon her, and then search for a Dark Magician from your deck and add it to your hand. Also, she acts as the Honest of this deck. You can either discard her or tribute her off on the field, target 1 Dark Spellcaster, and her attack points get transferred to that monster's attack and defense points. So, yes, one of the best, which just makes me glad this is one of the best reprints ever. Because, like, without her, Dark Magician wouldn't be where it's at now. Next up, we got our 1, 2, and 3 Magician's Rod. A Magician's Rod? Where's the magician, Yugi? Well, basically what this guy does is that you can add 1 Dark Magician related spell or tramp from your deck to your hand. And then you can tribute 1 spellcaster, add this card from your grave to your hand, but I never really use that effect, but yeah, it's a really good way to search out your most needed spells and traps. So you always gotta run this one at 3. Now, this is a totally different blue Dark Magician deck than I had before, so I hope you guys are ready for what I have to show you. We have 3 Berry Magician Girls. People are like, what? Well, this is because my deck also runs Dark Magician Girl. And Berry Magician Girl can search her out. And if this monster is attacked, or targeted with a card effect, she switches to defense mode, and then you can special summon a Dark 1 Magician Girl from your deck, except this one, and your opponent's attack gets reverted to that monster, and then the attacking monster automatically loses half of its attack points. So it's a good way to special summon the Dark Magician Girl easily and add 1 to your hand. Speaking of which, we have 2 Dark Magician Girls. Monster gains 300 attack points for every Dark Magician in your graveyard, or Magician of Black Chaos. And it also affects your opponent's graveyard too. But anyway, it's a really good staple, and plus you need her to bring out Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight. Next up, we got 2 of Magician of Dark Illusion. And what this does is that if you activate a spell or trap during your opponent's turn, you get to special summon him from your deck. I mean, not from your deck, from your hand. And also, he counts as Dark Magician, which he then gains the benefits of Dark Magician. And then, if you activate a spell or trap, while this card's face up on the field, you can special summon a Dark Magician from your graveyard, and then, but unfortunately this effect is only once per turn. Alright, next thing we have is Chocolate Magician Girl. Just a free, 1-up, discard 1 spellcaster and draw 1 card. And also if this card's attack, you can special summon a spellcaster from your graveyard, and that your opponent's attack gets reverted to that, and its attack and the attacking monster loses half of its attack points. We're only going to be running 1 Palladium Oracle Mahad. If this card is drawn, you can reveal it, special summon it, and it gains its attack points doubles when battling a Dark type attribute monster. And when it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon a Dark Magician from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Then we have the Sorcerer of Dark Magic. Requires 2 level 6 or higher spellcaster monsters, and you can negate the activation of any trap card and destroy them. So yeah, he's basically the Jinzo of this deck, and it only affects your opponent. Really powerful 32k beater, and the fact that traps are useless around him, it's no easy task to get around this. Then we got the 1 Electromagnetic Turtle, which I usually discard through the effect of Apprentice Illusion. You can banish this card from your graveyard and end the battle phase, but unfortunately you can only activate 1 per duel. And finally, we have Card D. Since this deck is mainly special summon from during your opponent's turn half the time, Card D is definitely worth the risk of summoning and then tributing him off to draw 2 cards. But always make sure you have set spells and traps ready that way, because once you activate this effect, your turn automatically comes to an end. Alright, next up we got our spells. We have our 3 Dark Magical Circles. Anytime a Dark Magician is summoned to the field, and it's only once per turn by the way, you can target and banish 1 card on your opponent's side of the field. And also when you activate this card, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add either a Dark Magician or Dark Magician related spell or trap, and you can rearrange the other 2 in any order you want. So it's a really good staple to have. It's what makes Dark Magician so powerful today. Next up we have the Eye of Timaeus. Counts as polymerization, and you can also use it as a substitute for any fusion material from your extra deck. So this actually does summon out Dark Paladin in place of Buster Blader, and it's a really excellent card. It's just fantastic. Alright, now another good card for this deck is this one, Pot of Duality. Now you're probably wondering, like, why do you play that? Well, simply because, like I said, you can special summon during your opponent's turn half the time. That's basically how this deck runs. You look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 to your hand, but shuffle back the other 2. So this really makes it easier to search out what you need. In this case, the Eye of Timaeus, because Eye of Timaeus cannot be searched through Magician's Rod or Dark Magical Circle, so which is why I run these. And plus, it keeps the consistency going. Next up, we got 1 Dark Burning Magic. As long as you control Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl, you can destroy all cards on your opponent's side of the field. So a really excellent card. I have pulled this off on so many duels. It's like I somehow always pull it off easily. And it's usually a really hard card to pull off sometimes too. Next up, we got Dark Magic Attack. As long as you control Dark Magician, you can destroy all spells and traps on your opponent's side of the field. Then we got our Thousand Knives. Target 1 monster your opponent controls and destroy it. Dark Magic Inheritance. Banish 2 spells from your graveyard. Add 1 spell or trap from your deck that lists Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl, except this one. Next we got Illusion Magic. Tribute 1 spellcaster. Add up to 2 copies of Dark Magician from your deck and or graveyard to your hand. Then for our traps we have 3 Eternal Souls. Once per turn you can special summon a Dark Magician from your hand or graveyard to the field, and then you can also add once per turn you can also add a Dark Magic Attack or Thousand Knives, but if this card gets destroyed, all your monsters are gone. So but it also protects your Dark Magician from being affected by card effects. But unfortunately, that's the primary weakness of that card. Again, if it's destroyed, all your monsters go. But there are other ways to getting out your Dark Magician, which is why I have these. Magician's Navigation. Special summon 1 Dark Magician, and then you can special summon an additional level 7 or lower spellcaster monster from your deck. And then you can also banish this card from the duel to negate the effect of 1 face-up spell or trap from your opponent controls. And for our last 2 cards, we have Magic Cylinder. Basically, when your opponent declares an attack, you can target that attacking monster to negate the attack, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to its attack. And then we got the 1 Dark Renewal. Solely because I don't usually rely on this one a little too much, and it's not a Dark Magician card, because all you do is just like you tribute off one monster and a spellcaster you control, and of course 1 monster your opponent controls, and you can revive a dark spellcaster from your graveyard or your deck. Alright, let's move on to the extra deck. We have our 2 Dark Magician the Dragon Knight. I am going to get myself a 3rd one soon, so don't worry. But what I love about this guy is that the fact that he's a 3k beat stick, and also he counts as Dark Magician, but unfortunately he's a dragon type still, but he protects your back row, including Eternal Soul. So if you have Eternal Soul and this guy out, you pretty much got yourself a blockade. Your opponent has to get rid of this thing by battle. And the fact that he counts as Dark Magician on the field and in the graveyard, you can revive him on your next turn with Eternal Soul. And then he also gets the benefit of Dark Magical Circle too. So he's really broken. Then we got our Amulet Dragon. Banishes many spells on your graveyard, and this monster gains attack equal to the number of spells by 100, I believe. Yeah, 100. So you can just really power this guy up to make him like a really powerful powerhouse. Of course, we got Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight. Discard one card from your hand, and then you can target one face-up card on the field, destroy that target. Then we got 2 Dark Paladins. Gains 500 attacks for every dragon, both on both sides of the fields and in the graveyards. And this guy can negate spells. So it's like, it's really, really good. But you gotta discard for costs in order to negate spells. Next, we got our Xyz monsters. Ebon Illusion Magician. Detach 1 Xyz material and target 1 normal spellcaster from your hand or deck. And then also, whenever whenever a normal spellcaster declares an attack, you can target 1 card on your opponent's side of the field, banish it. So it's like really good to get rid of like nasty cards. Then we got our Ebon High Magician. You can detach 1 Xyz material and activate a quick play spell or trap card during your opponent's turn. And then you can literally activate a trap directly from your hand, by the way. And if this card is destroyed, you can target 1 dark spellcaster type from your hand or your deck. I'm sorry, you can special summon 1 from your hand or deck, then you can destroy 1 card on the field. And finally, we have Gaia Dragon, the Thunder Charger. Basically, just does piercing damage. He doesn't really do anything else besides that, but that's really good because, you know, you want to try to go for a game as quickly as you can with this deck. But anyway, that's pretty much everything I have for the Dark Magician deck. I hope you guys learned a few things, and hopefully you guys appreciate my build. And I'll catch you on the next one. See ya!